We are live on Instagram for a change due to some technical difficulties in the studio tonight. Level Up Skatepark will be joining us for a little Instagram live chat. We tried to do streaming live on YouTube tonight. It just wasn't in the cards. Sometimes technology isn't going to have it. So, we just got to get him in the chat and we'll get this thing going. What's going on here? How do I do this? Dude, what? Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Here we go.
All
We
right,
did it.
I can hear you.
You can hear me. I hear you.
Fantastic.
Okay.
For background, for the last hour, we were trying to stream on YouTube, and it
Yeah.
wasn't working. And I don't know what the deal was. I've done an episode once a week since December without any problems. And then today, for some reason, it just wasn't going to work. So we decided we're going to come here and do a little kind of mini podcast here on Instagram Live.
Very cool. Thank you so much for having me. You hear me now? I just the audio. Should be better audio.
All right,
Dude, we did it.
Yep, this is
Thank
John.
you, Tim. Thank you, brother.
He's the owner of Level Up Skatepark in Brick, New Jersey. He's one of few of us out here doing the indoor skate park thing. So we're gonna talk skate park. So anyone in the chat feels free to join in, ask some questions. You can ask some questions, and we're gonna kind of run down the questions I was gonna ask him anyway on the podcast. It didn't work out. So first of all, John, just tell us who you are, and tell us about your skate park. Let's hear it.
All right. Dave, thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it. My name is John Sabia, and I opened a skate park, you said, in Brick, New Jersey. Repeat the question for me. It's one of those nights. Just tell me about myself, right? Yeah. I'm like, what happened right now? So that's an example when you own a skate park. We're just so fried right now.
You just tell me who you are and tell me about your skate park. Give me your 2-minute elevator pitch.
All right. So we are Level Up Skatepark in Brick, New Jersey. We are run by the Level Up organization. Boom. A 501c3 nonprofit that helps people with mental health using action sports. So whatever you do in life, however you're doing it using action sports, just leveling up a little bit every day. Doesn't have to be big growth, but just, as skaters, as bikers, we know the idea of never giving up. And our goal is to teach that to all ages every day. Just the idea of never giving up, believe and achieve, and just manifest and make it happen. So we have our skate park in Brick, New Jersey. We are about a year and a half old now, give or take. And we have classes, camps, open session, and we really try to cater to everybody, like I said. And it's just been a really amazing journey, and I'm proud to be one of the only skate parks in the country. And I would love to know how many skate parks you think are in the country. Do you know?
I always estimate somewhere around 30. That's what I say. I tried to use GPT to answer that question, and it's like no one knows. And there's you're doing a whole new take on skate parks. I'm doing like the old school, early 2000s version of it. But there are all these other skate parks that are like these quiet ones you don't hear about. Like, for example, in Wilkes-Barre, PA, or Wilkes-Barre, depending where you're from, there's like a small indoor skate park that's like skateboard only that I never even heard of until I was talking to the other skate park that was briefly open down there. So I think there are these smaller ones that are quiet,
Yeah.
but they're almost like a different animal. But there are very few skate parks.
Yeah. Do you know the homie at Skate the Foundry? Brett is his name, and what he does, he has a very cool business model where he has his indoor park, and it's an interesting park. It's great for beginners and rippers, different layout, but he does a lot of stuff outdoors at the free parks. So he brings his community out there. So it's a different way. I think you're saying, like, right, where we have what you coined, which I love it. I had the idea of the skate spot. So we were looking in the beginning. We were working with the town of Belmar, New Jersey, by the beach. They had a park that we had they wanted to tear down, but all the skaters like, no. So they went crazy at all these town meetings. I happened to work at the town at the time, so I knew what was going on. And they wanted to build this park, and no one would do it. So there's a lot of red tape, a lot of craziness going on. So I just decided, well, let me write up a proposal. Let me see what's going on. Let me run some numbers for what I knew being in the skate scene for 35 years. Went away for a long time, but came back about 7 years ago. I started studying, see what's available, and I went in the idea with some good numbers. I did weird math. I said, well, if I have 25 people a day at $30 a piece, I just started running through some basic numbers, what I knew. Started talking to the guys at Substance Skate Park in Brooklyn. Started talking to some other skate people in the industry. Got back in touch with a lot of my rollerblade homies that are now were pro or doing things still. I just kind of came with this idea of if I could have a small park going back to Bummer again, sorry, skipping around. Um, it was going to cost us so much money, so much red tape. And as you know, like you were telling me how you got your park, at a great cost for you. But the idea was, you're doing a 10,000 square foot facility. You're looking at a $500,000 easy. And that's the start. That's not counting your workers. That's not counting maintenance. That's kind of what I found out. If it snows a lot, I'm spending another $3,000 on a heavy winter in my place where I'm in a strip mall. My idea was let's do this small space where people could come in and learn and do and achieve and skate and rip whatever, but keep it at a price point that I could afford and that others could afford. So that's kind of how the skate spot happened. And then when you did your interview, when you came and did your great review for us, thank you, sir. We did it. You called it a micro park, and it could be the way of the future. And I think that's it. You affirmed it for us. I think if we could figure out a way to teach people right in the beginning when they're skating, that's one of our goals. Is like parents are scared. Oh, I don't know. I bring them to a park, they're gonna get hit, or they're all smoking weed, or they're drinking, or doing whatever. And it's like here's a safe space for everybody. So you can come in for a safe space. All I need is a couple ramps, a couple kickers, things like that, and we can teach and people can level up.
Hell yeah. Um, are you involved with like the Belmar outdoor park they're trying to build?
So I'm one of the founders of that as well. I'm on the nonprofit board there.
Okay.
We just did the Spend to Shred, which they're coming with some great ideas. They got all the local places in Belmar to donate money of the proceeds of when it was Go Skateboard Day, and they're doing a lot of things. But I'll be honest, man. I got to be honest. That's what I do. Um, we made this amazing park, this sketch or design for adaptive skaters. I love the idea. There's this dude, Anthony Farrow, and he's a professional blind skateboarder. He's been in the Olympics, all this other stuff, and he's blind and he's amazing. So we're making these rails. So a normal rail for, let's say, a grinding is what? Like, I don't know, 10 feet, let's say a normal rail is. Well, for blind people, they make them 45 feet so they can
I
touch their
love that.
cane. Yeah, yeah, right. I love that regular, blind or not. So like they touch the rail, they feel it, and they go. So that gave me the idea. Let's make this adaptive park. So with the Belmar Township, again, red tape, we designed a $1.2 million park, and guess how much we raised in 2 years?
How much? 1.2.
25,000. 25,000.
Jeez.
25,000. So you get all these Karens, you get all these people going crazy to try to build this park for the community, and they don't understand the red tape. Like you were saying, everyone owns a skate park. Everyone's a professional skate park owner. Like you don't know. So to raise 25, and they did a great job. So proud of them. That's a lot of money. Good for them. But to realistically make a $1.2 million skate park a vacation destination is ludicrous. Like we can't do that right now. So how do we raise that
You
money?
have to have the municipality on board. Like you
And they're
can't.
not.
No
That's the
one.
problem.
Yeah, you cannot get any infrastructure, whether it be a skate park or a dog park or anything in a park or any municipality, unless they want to do it. If they don't want to
Right.
do it, it's just not going to happen. Right?
Right.
Even if you somehow managed to come up with all the money to build an outdoor facility and you came to town and said, here it is, they're still going to be like, oh, well, we got to do a
Yep.
feasibility study. You got to do this. We got to do that. If they don't want
Yep.
it. And the sad
No.
thing is the flip side is if they do want it, they're going to build it. But let's
Yeah.
pull out from the outdoor.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're talking about indoor parks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Let's
just
get
said
it.
that because I'd reached out to that nonprofit, and one of the
Yeah.
people are going to come on and talk
Oh,
on
cool.
the show.
Yeah, they're great.
I'm originally from that area, so
Oh, dope.
I remember the old Delmar skate park.
Yeah. Who, Jane?
I don't even remember
Okay.
someone. Whoever was running the Instagram and messaged me told me that someone would be more equipped for an interview than whoever was answering me. So I don't. They said they'd get
Yep.
back to me, and I said,
Yeah, no problem.
no rush,
All right.
Um,
I'll talk to him too. Yeah. See what's up. But yeah, so go back to, yeah, so the indoor park. Go ahead.
so I do want to point out, aside, we have in common the fact that we both own skate parks, which is rare.
Yes.
What's
Yeah.
even more rare is that we both we own skate parks in places that historically have had epic skate parks, right? Rochester, New York, and Central New Jersey both have a long history of like
Oh
iconic
yeah.
indoor parks,
Yeah.
and like there's definitely I can feel that momentum behind me. Like
Mm.
it's bigger than you or me because it's the kids. But then when you have that, like, oh, there was Tom's River Skate Park and the Casino
Hmm.
Skate Park and Asbury Park in the '90s,
Help
and
build that.
Lakewood and like all these skate parks. Like I'm keeping this lineage alive, right? Do
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
think about that? Do you feel it the way I feel it?
You know what you're reminding me, because we're always so busy, we're just going on to the next thing. We're trying to keep going and going, and it's amazing you say that because I helped build Level Up Skatepark. I started this rollerblade team there, and it was great, man. Just the history in that building, the history in that area, the where people were the street skaters at that time.
Wait,
Like
which one?
it was just great.
Which one are you
Hmm?
talking about?
Casino Skatepark,
Okay,
in Asbury Park.
wait, yeah, you slipped up and you said level up. So
Oh, did
I
I?
knew you were talking about casino. Yeah,
Sorry.
casino.
Yep.
Yeah. So you're a
Yeah.
rollerblader?
Yeah, so I've done every sport. He's gonna hang up on me now. No, I've done every sport, but rollerblading was one I happened to be good at. I was semi-pro back in the day, but like in 1994, there wasn't many tricks, so it wasn't like that crazy. And when they were jumping off of roofs, I kind of quit. Went to college, but I do know what you're talking about, like that scene, that idea of that we're keeping this moving forward, so other people, like I said, like we understand the idea of not giving up in our sport. When we keep going, and that mentality you push through every day,
Yep.
that's in a skater, that's in a biker, that's in someone that goes to these parks, and to be able to give that back to people that have the life, because the music, hip hop, punk, the whole culture is still in me today, and I can't wait to give that back to the community.
We have a skate shop up here, Crudco. They've been around for over 25 years, which is extraordinarily rare and really impressive. And when I had the owner of Crudco on the podcast, I asked him, like, how do you do it? And he said exactly what you said. He's like, I'm just not gonna stop. Like, no matter what it is, like, I'm not, you get it until you land the trick or you get the clip. But I guess in this situation, you never really get the clip. You're just always trying to get the clip.
Yep,
So
yep,
you said you've been open for about a year and a half at Level Up Skate
yep,
Park down there in Brick.
yep,
Um,
yep.
how's it going?
Dude, so we're gonna fast forward quick, or it goes real quick. It's going great. It's doing awesome. I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel finally. I'm seeing. We started off in the wintertime. We were gangbusters the first 3 months. We quadrupled the numbers we ever thought we would make. But we had to work on price points because, like I said, there's a couple people, or maybe I said before, there's a couple people that couldn't afford $5. We had $5 specials in the summer when it was slow, and they complained online about it. And I got mad, but then I felt bad because if you can't spend $5, what market are we doing? Who are we helping? How are we going to do this? So I kind of got into the numbers more this year. We did better than we did last year. Our programs are all set up. Our schedules are going, and they fluctuate, but like everything's kind of going. But what I'm really excited about, I'm going to break the news live here with you guys. We're going to get the clips.
Ooh, breaking news.
Is that we are going to be moving to Monmouth County, or a new location, I'd say, in Monmouth County. And what's going to happen is we're going to take the model that we use now, that we've seen work. We've seen who our audience is and who our demographic is. And now we can bring that to Monmouth County, New Jersey, right in the middle of New Jersey, right by the beach. We're gonna tease it a little bit more where exactly it is. But what we're gonna do now is what my nonprofit is meant to do, is to build programs and facilities that help people with mental health. So using action sports. So we're gonna be able to bring this to a community right in the middle of an amazing town where people are gonna see us, we're gonna see them, and we're going to be able to level up everybody even better than we did before. So I'm seeing we did really well, but now I'm really looking to the future that we're going to do even better for everybody.
And so you're in Brick. Was that Ocean County?
Yeah. Monmouth is 20 minutes up.
Okay, so I'm from Monmouth County, so you're just going up north a little bit more.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Moving to a new facility.
Yep.
Bigger,
smaller? It's going to be smaller, but we have Jimmy Hake, the master builder of one of them of Woodward, Cirque du Soleil. He builds ice ramps all around the world made of not ice. And he's going to come in and work his magic, and we're going to build a new unique park. Similar type of layout. So what we really learned is we do a 3-lane layout because it's so small. So things kind of go in 3 lanes. So it's not beginner, intermediate, or advanced. It's just different ways to start. And then once you learn those areas, you can do the whole park. So I really liked that idea. And we found was crowded, people would like stay in their lane magically. One day we were playing hardcore punk rock music and like no one got hurt. Everyone was like killing it. They were doing crazy ollies. The bikes are flipping. It was all in one session and no one got hurt. Everyone was able to flow. So we can be advanced if we need to, or we can be really good for young kids to learn. So we're going to take that idea and still bring that to this park. This park might be a little more flowy. I'm thinking a little more, not pump tracky, but just a lot of flow. And then try to cater again to all sports.
I do think that flow and pump tracks are very accessible to a huge spectrum of riders. You can get into like the mountain bike range and little kids, like anything where a kid can feel the wind in their hair. Woo, woo, that's where it's at. Even like in the mountain biking world, that's where they're moving. I had Mike on the podcast last week, who's building that bike park down in Pittsburgh Woods Room, and he was part of the wheel mill, and the wheel mill closed, and blah blah. And they said their new facility, they're downsizing. They were 100,000 square feet. No, 80. They were 80,000 square feet. Now they're going to be 50, but they're transitioning more towards flowy stuff. It's very accessible. And as you said earlier, many people, when it comes to skate parks and indoor skate parks specifically, they're very intimidated. They think it's like this really intense thing. I'm sure you hear it all the time. People call, or they're like, oh, I don't want to be in the way. I'm scared I might fall. And every day I'm answering those phone calls. Like, no one's going to laugh. No one cares. We've all been there. It's all good.
110%.
Awesome.
Yes, we have a lot of students that like we'll show them we don't give up, we level up, and a lot of people.
That's a great line.
We have. Thank you, brother. Get the shirt. But what it is they we have a quad skater that comes in, 4-wheel skates, roller skates, and they were really worried about people were going to laugh at them. And once they see the community is fostering, once they see that it's all different ages, like the old guys, the old heads like me come in and we help them. And what we do at Level Up, like no one else, which as you know, because it's very hard with time, but with our small space, it's feasible, is that no one comes in alone. Like if you come into our park, for everyone's safety, flow, and fun, we make sure that like you kind of almost pass an assessment. Like we give a 20-minute free trial, you sign the waiver, you come on in. If you can't handle it, you hate it, whatever it is, or we show you a couple tricks on a skateboard with proper feet, they're loving it, move forward. Little kid bikes love it because when they do pump tracks and stuff like that, or they do the outdoor course, we have a wall ride, we have a higher wall, we have a couple little whoops, so they can get that air going like you said, and they can kind of feel what that is and then do their cardio for the off season. So we've had a lot of successes with that as well.
What was it like going through the process of opening the skate park?
How am I going to answer this one? The processes of opening the skate park, it was quite interesting because I now am a firm believer of manifestation, just believing it into existence. That's how I met my business partner at a diner, and it just he believed in me, I believed in him, and 2 years later we had the park. So it's just when we got the master builder, like everything kind of just worked out. Like I was on Instagram, I see this guy, Jimmy Hake, he knows a couple of my pro skater friends. We all got together, he's now the homie. He built it for great cost and love and support, and it just kind of worked. Then we came in, and it went, like I said, gangbusters for the first couple of months, and then the summer hit. And then we realized, no one goes skating in the summer. And we thought it'd be cool to be in a town that has like 5 surrounding outdoor parks. We said, we're going to the skate culture. We're going to be the indoor version. Let's do it. And people skate for free. They're out skating for free. They don't want to spend that money. So that's why I said our key demographic is moms that want to help their kids learn how to skate in a safe, cool way. And then, it's where, like I said, our competition is dance schools, gymnastics, bounce places, which I feel we're 10 times safer than. We've had no real injuries in a year and a half, as opposed to bounce places. You pop your knee out just by doing one bounce. It's so scary to me.
I had a girl who worked for me, and she worked for me on Saturdays, and she worked at a trampoline park on maybe Sundays. And she'd be like, dude, the amount of injuries at the trampoline park. She told me one time, I don't like to too gruesome, but he told me this person had a compound fracture in their leg, bone out of the leg, and the bone pierced through the trampoline on like a Sunday morning at the trampoline park. Dozens of kids around.
And they saw it.
Like, dude, brutal.
No, man.
It's like the biggest misconception. Like, I feel like I'll knock on the wood. The table is wood.
Yeah.
people like never get hurt at my skate park. It's like one
Yeah.
bad injury a year.
Yeah.
It's like this conception of just like it's so dangerous and you must have people breaking their necks. It's like it's never happened.
Nope.
Like God forbid,
Yep.
like, and that's something in the back of my head as a skate park owner is like, yeah, like, oh my God, what if someone dies here?
Oh, oh
Like
yeah.
it's unlikely, but like it could
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. It's a
Um,
dangerous zone. Yeah.
and that's one thing is like, what's cool about your park being like a micro park is it's small. You're really going
Yeah.
to minimize the likelihood of those really, really bad injuries because the pace of riding is much slower. And as you
Hmm.
alluded to earlier, many of the riders, most of the riders, are going to be beginner and intermediates. They're going slow, and most people do pace themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
My park is of a bigger scale, and it's part of that lineage of the old
Hmm.
Northeast big
Hmm.
indoor parks. And
Hmm.
I'm small compared to a lot of those, like Incline Club. Like
Sure.
that place is
Yeah.
huge,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah. Yeah. I was there for the first two
big.
builds. Yeah.
That vert wall at Incline Club, it was like to
Yeah.
the goddamn ceiling. I remember as a kid
Yeah.
thinking the thing, he's got to be 40 feet tall.
Yeah. Those ramps were monsters for sure. For sure.
Crazy.
Yeah.
What is
Let. Hmm.
yeah, we got.
Yeah. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going, bro. What you got? Let's get it.
I was to say, you've had your skate park for a year and a half.
Hmm.
Pretty good.
I'm
What what
good.
is what has been the most like surprising thing for you, or like something you didn't see coming, or an expectation like I thought it was going to be this way, and it's totally not. Like, give me the thing that most people
Yeah.
wouldn't get.
You know, the biggest thing I think, the biggest thing right now, or then and in the middle, the whole process was really thinking in the mentality like I would think of there's a brand new skate park down the way, you know, I'm gonna go there every day. I'm gonna be there every day. I'm gonna skate every day. I thought we were gonna get these skate rats that I used to be, that I still am technically, in our park every day, and come, let's say, daylight savings time, I learned, and it proved it again this year. As soon as daylight savings times hit, literally that week, profits cut in half. And if you don't have birthdays, which you learned, birthdays are a great funnel. If we don't have the classes and camps and reasons like other revenue streams, no one is coming in our parks to come in the park. We have to give them a reason to be in the park, and I found that to be very surprising, but understandable. So like I said, there was no parks around in the '90s, so you went to all of them. We in your questions sheet, we got Cheapskates in Philly, Extremes in Jersey, Hackettstown, the indoor. They used to have a sleep overnight there. Like that culture is switched, and so now I'm trying to get a taste of that, and that's what I expected as a skater. But then it was totally different. It was you got to make it. We tried hardcore shows, music shows that gave me so much anxiety and ridiculousness because you only take so long in a day, and no one would show up even for those shows.
Yeah,
So
that's
we,
like the number one thing people tell me. It's like, do shows. And as a business owner, like, first of all, I'm from Jersey in the early
yeah,
2000s. I know all about hardcore shows.
yeah,
I was
bouncy
in I
souls,
was in
baby.
I was in grindcore bands and all that stuff.
Hmm.
Shows don't really make money. It's just like it's like, hey, do something that's exactly like a skate park and a skate park that also doesn't make money. And then you have the liability issue of bringing in like,
Hmm.
20, 40, 50, 100, 200 people into your facility that are not invested in your facility. Like when you bring a skateboarder into your skate park, they are to some level going to completely understand I need to respect this place. And maybe
Yeah,
there's some that don't and they're going to
yeah,
write
they're on.
graffiti on your wall or whatever. But you get some person who's here to see a band, they're not going to care about what's around them or
Nope.
so it's not worth, in my
No.
opinion, it's not worth it. I have started playing with live music here, though.
Yeah.
Small, we do open mic night and kind of
Oh,
more
dope.
community building stuff.
Right. Right.
And
That's the idea we're gonna do.
what I've always done from the very beginning, and I'll credit my friend John Bechtold for helping with this. He was like, "You got to do vlogs," and back in 2016, I didn't even know what a vlog was. I literally didn't watch YouTube. I had no idea. He sat me down. He showed me a vlog. I was like, "This is lame as hell," but I guess I'll do it if I believe you. So when we opened my skate park, we vlogged the whole process, the whole build out, everything, and you can go back as an archive. It's really
Oh,
quite
cool.
priceless at this point.
Yeah.
And what I learned doing the vlogs was to like the seasonal nature of the business.
Hmm.
My goal was to craft a narrative, to create an environment and a space where people felt like they were part of something bigger, Therefore, if they were not coming, they feel like they're missing out on, oh, so and so finally landed the trick, or whatever, he did this, or the so and so who's
Hmm.
always come here now he volunteers here. You make it like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it takes time to craft and cultivate that narrative,
Yeah.
and like foster that, and put out content that the right people are going to see it and whatever.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
really think that's how you keep kids engaged longer.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always turn over into sessions in the summertime, but it does keep them engaged.
Yeah. Well, one of the things we did, great points. One of the things we did is we did the kids club. So basically, with my OCD, ADHD, whatever you want to call it, have to get I did it in my last production company business. Like my price points have to be right, my times have to be right, because I want to make a systematic approach to success. So I want to know what's going on so I can control it the best of my ability, right? So we have this kids club from, we used to have it 3 to 5, then intermediate 5 to 7, then 7 to 9 was our blade night, skate night, whatever it is. And it ended up turning into it worked because I made a kids time because people were young and I wanted the scooter kids ripping people off and being how some scooter kids are. So I had a safe and a flow, but then I realized, you know, like you said, through just organically, the older one now, just exactly what we said, he's now our volunteer, Chad. Hi, Chad. He's one of our volunteers now who was a member who is now fostering another one of our members who's doing frontside grinds, who now build that community. Now everyone knows Chad is that quirky guy that comes in, and he's Chad. It's just Chad, and like I saw that. And in the beginning, we had there were skaters that I knew in the area, and they were great, but all they wanted to do was skate. And I totally respect that. I understand that. But they didn't understand the business aspect of it. And it's my dream, not theirs. You know what I mean? They want to go skate. So now I'm seeing a year later to a year and a half later, teams of families. We have some favorite families we work with that now volunteer. So we're building like just through that culture, like you said, slowly but surely, these people that are really building us up and we're helping each other.
Yeah, that's great. I love all that. That's fantastic. Hitting the nail on the head. I want to tell you something that might trip you out.
Yeah, do it.
This started tripping me out. I started realizing this recently. I've had my skate park for over 8 years now, which is crazy. Um,
Good.
and now
Congratulations.
kids come here to ride that were not alive when I opened the park, and I'm like, holy crap, dude! It like blows my mind. Right?
Hmm.
That's it. Like I feel like I got goosebumps talking about that. Like that's like the benchmark for when your skate park has made it, is when like like a 6-year-old comes here like, dude, I was open for 2 years before this kid was even born.
Yeah, dude.
Or,
Congratulations.
or people that bring their kids here that used to come here. That is like probably up there with some of the most rewarding things in the skate park owner life.
Yeah, yeah. It comes around, and it's kind of who you hang out with too. And it's so funny because you're saying that. Another kind of mind-blowing story to me is that guy Chad, our new volunteer. Been around for a while since one of our first members ever, maybe the first. I thought I knew him. He looked familiar. And I'm like, bro, it looked familiar. He's like, oh yeah, we probably saw each other at Casino Skate Park, and we didn't really get into the story. And then one day, Bruce Springsteen came into the skate park, and we're like, oh, it's Bruce Springsteen, and you wouldn't know that unless you were there. Like it was the whole scene. So he ended up the other day, like literally a week ago, said, yeah, let me tell you a story about how Bruce Springsteen came in. I was like, bro, I was there. He's like, really? I'm like, dude, we knew each other 25 years ago and came back as volunteers for my park now. And I was like, that's nuts. Just that culture, that idea, like you said, of that building this history, building this lineage, building this support. Like we're going to have that. And now I'm taking pride in it more that we're bringing that back, just like you've been doing for so many years, which is such a blessing.
Dude, it's the best. There's some kids. Shout out Tommy Priola, one of my regulars. When I worked at the old skate park in town, he was like, I mean, he must have been 7 or 8 years old. Now he's
Hmm.
like a grown man. He's going bald. He's like sponsored, scooter rider. It's just like it's crazy. It's like I've known some of these kids since they were just out of diapers, and now a lot of people bring their kids to the skate park when they're still in diapers. So it's like
Right.
you just get to watch kids grow up and grow up and grow up, and like you'll get there soon enough. I
Hope
believe
so.
you're gonna make it the long run. But you'll have these kids that came to their skate park when they were 7, 8, 9, and you watch them grow up, and eventually they go away. They go to college, they get a girlfriend, whatever. Then they come back. They're visiting. It's like
Hmm.
Thanksgiving break, and they visit, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
they're taller than you. It's like, oh my God, you're a man now. They got like tattoos. Like, you're an adult. Holy crap! Like, and
Yeah.
they'll come back to the skate park, and it's like, and there's John. And
Hmm.
John looks like John's wearing the same shirt. He's wearing the same hat he's worn for 9 years. And
Yep.
now this kid's a grown adult. Dude,
Yep.
it blows your mind.
Yep. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Such a
I've watched
blessing.
so many kids grow up. It's crazy. And sometimes you watch kids grow up and things don't pan out well for them, and you're like, oh, it's a
Mm.
heartbreak, But it's just like you're like a subcontracted parent.
Yeah, no, we are daddy daycare. We are. I've learned that too. That was something to get out of my brain a lot. I didn't realize we would be such a daycare, and I'm all right with it. I'm fine with it because I can keep these kids off the streets and not doing stupid stuff, and they can come out and they can level up. Fine with it. It's not what I originally thought, but I'm there now.
Yeah. One paradigm I always explain to people about running an indoor skate park is like you're weaving this line, right? You can't be too core. And like by
Mm.
core, I mean like, hardcore skaters, it's like DIY or die and,
Mm.
whatever. And then, but the other side of it is if you're like way too family friendly, PG, the core skaters are like, oh, it's lame, dude. So it's about like weaving this line where it's not too far this way, not too far that way. And like
Hmm.
I get people, some of the, moms from the nicer parts of town come, they'll
Hmm.
email me and be like, "Oh my God, the couches at your skate park are gross." And I'm like, "Yeah,
Uh,
it's a 107-year-old building with a couch on it someone gave me. Like it can't
yeah,
be looked
yeah,
at. So it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
you're you're gonna upset people on the extremes when you're trying to weave that
yeah,
line the right
yeah,
way.
yeah.
It's not easy. It's not easy at
No,
all.
no, I see that in our facility because one of our claims of fame is I like to think of one of the cleanest skate parks maybe in the country. We keep it very super clean because it's small. We're able to do that. We're able to kind of just I could clean my whole park in perfectly in like 2 hours. I bet you can't say the same thing if you were to clean. Can you do it?
I honestly hardly even try. I'm a one person show, and this building is so dirty, and it's like a shtick here about how it's dirty, and it just is what it is, honestly.
No, that's what I'm used to. And it's not that it's dirty. It's eclectic. So it's what you have to do to survive to an extent to still provide the great ramps and service that you do. It's just what it is at that point.
Well, so
At that size.
yeah, one of the things that I get at my skate park is, skaters, and this is very skateboard centric. Skateboarders
Yeah.
complain that it is slippery. Okay.
Oh,
Now,
every day.
now the thing is, the people that complain typically don't actually come that often, right? So they're not really riders that you
Yeah.
take much credence to their insights because they come, they're only going to come in the dead of winter when they're super desperate, right? And these are the same skaters that are skating, 101 diameter wheels they've had for 6 years and they don't want to buy new wheels. So they're hard wheels and they've hardened over time.
Thank you.
And then they skate the outdoor concrete part and then they come here and they're expecting the same grip and you're like, dude. And then they're like, well, it's because it's dusty. And I'm like, and I always concede, yeah, it is dusty in here. But the traction of the riding surface is is in a relationship with humidity in the air. If you come
Yeah, I
here
learned that.
in the summer months, it's nice and tacky. The Masonite's pretty good. In the
Yeah.
winter months, up here in Rochester, we will be below freezing for like a month on end,
Oh.
and the furnace, which doesn't keep it very warm in here, but is pumping nonstop, it's a hot intake or 100% hot air, zero humidity, right? So
Yeah.
in the wintertime, there's no humidity, so the dust is settling, and the riding surface is super dry, and it's just more
Yep.
slippery. And
Yep.
it's just
Yep.
how it's going to be, right?
Yep.
And then people are like, why don't you mop? I'm like, you're welcome to mop.
Yeah, you want
We,
what?
we have brooms and dust bins all over the skate park. There's multiple
Yeah.
mops. Like everyone is welcome to sweep. And there are a lot of fantastic customers I have, skaters,
Yeah.
bikers, who they come in and they grab the broom and they broom it all up. And then
Yeah,
they'll
yeah.
ask them, hey, you guys want to mop today? Okay. Then they'll all sweep it out and they'll all mop it out. And it's like, hell yeah, let's go. It's like, that's it.
Dope.
That's why you do it, for the sense of community.
Dope. I love that. Wait, so, dude, we need to be best friends now because that's literally what I hear all the time. I had a scooter kid, nothing against scooter kids. He comes in, he goes, "This is the slipperiest park I've ever been in. I feel bad. I just spent $35 for the whole day and now I got to go." I'm like, "Bro, let me see your wheels. If your wheels are hard, it's going to be different. I got the air on, it might be a little slip, but you're okay." I look at his wheels, it was to the metal. It looked like he was biting on them. He had new wheels in his bag. I go, "Give me your wheels." I put the wheels on his scooter. I go, "I guarantee I work." He's like, "Oh, I don't know, man." Boom. He was killing it, doing 6 feet up on the wall ride. Like, come on,
Yeah,
man. So there's a lot of education, and like I said, like we don't really have any dust really. But like I learned, she said, when it gets cold, I couldn't even stand on the ramp with my skates, my shoes. It's
yeah,
just slippery, and
it's
that was a
rough. Yeah,
learning curve. And now I learned, like, even if I put the air conditioning on, like, because it's hot over here, like it's real hot over here. Um, I have to teach people, like, "Oh, it's so hot." Like, "Did you go outside?" Like, "It was so hot in here." I'm like, "This is what it is. Like, you're indoors, no sun, but like it's gonna still be 80 degrees in here because it's 105 outside." And you just
yeah,
have
yeah.
to educate, and not hate. Because I wanted to hate at first. I'm like, "Bro, I don't know what you're talking about." But it's the surface. We have the honeycomb surface, so it actually has more grip,
Yeah, yeah.
skate light. But when you're going, wheels make a difference, and temperature. That was a new one. Dead
Yeah,
on,
one
but
thing
I'm with you.
all the quad skate people, when they come in,
Hmm.
you'll see them sit down and immediately change their wheels. It's like
Mm.
they're the one demographic that really understands that
Oh, they're
different riding
smart.
surface, you run different wheels. And there are some skateboarders that come here that bring, they'll swap their wheels out, or this is my park deck or whatever,
Yep, yep,
and that's
yep,
a whole other thing. But yeah,
yeah. I was gonna put on the website soon, like proper wheels to ride and level up. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. I do want to do a whole episode on skateboard wheels one day because just
Ooh.
you can have a radial wheel or a conical
Mm-hmm.
wheel and you're getting like 25% more or 20% more contact patch. So then it's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, what's a conical at 101 versus a radial at
Ah.
98? Freaking got I just saw a mouse over there.
Oh no. There's a mouse in the house. I think I got a couple too. Are you in the skate park?
Yeah.
Oh, dope. Very cool.
All right, let's
Very cool.
go move along here. Some more
All
questions I got
right.
for you. I want to talk about you personally, not the
Oh.
skate park. So for
Uh-oh.
you personally, what has been like the best and the worst aspect of your year and a half journey of you now own a skate park? Give me the high and the low, the best and the worst.
I'm gonna go with the low because I went in my brain right now. Um, you know, Maxed out my cards. I'm not getting paid. I'm a nonprofit. We run the park as a for-profit park, but anything that goes on in it is run by me and my team, and we're all volunteers. So, and we talked, I think, before, I can't get another job. I can't do anything else because when I believe in this, first and foremost, I know it will work. But if I don't spend every waking hour at this park, nothing's going to get done. And I try to help people and teach them and help me. But like I said, that's not their vision. It's not their passion. They want to do something else. This is my thing. So being alone was very hard. But like we said, now with Chad, I got homies that come skate. Like the community is being built. So I'm not, and that goes right into the best part. Now we have community. I don't want to cry. Like that, it's like now we have the people. Now it's like I said, light at the end of the tunnel. So going from being alone and not seeing any light, and like I said, trying to get everyone in the door any which way, shape, or form, and then now actually sustaining ourselves and tripling our net income from last June to this June, that feels great. It's all because of this amazing community that's going on that we are building, that we are creating for people of all abilities and needs. So that's been the best part is, and then teaching, like, people, from my television company to everything else, like I feel I'm a decent talker and a good teacher, but I didn't have the faith in myself to, I haven't skateboarded in like, I don't know, 25 years, but I've been around the culture forever, and I've taught probably about 50 people how to drop in this year. And it's just getting that confidence and building that community. That's, I think, the best part. And knowing that you the next shirt, believe and achieve. If you could believe it, you could achieve it. And just really knowing that I'm not full of shit, that feels good too. You know what I mean? And your affirmation and seeing what you're doing and learning it from my elders, not your old, but learning from people who've been in the game for a while. Doing things that I love learning, and the learning process. My one client used to say in television, enjoy the process. You got to enjoy the process. And because I would tell people like, I always want to open a restaurant. I always want to see what's up. I would have quit 3 months into opening a restaurant. I would have quit, and I never quit. But I went from working 20 hours a day, 20 to no exaggeration, to 15 to now 12. And then and when I'm home talking personal again, now I'm taking care of my 3 kids. Now I'm trying to make things meet. Like it all trickles down. And my ex-wife would even be like, "Oh, you should have got a 9 to 5." I'm like, and not see my kids and divorce my wife and do whatever. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be with my kids when I want. I'm going to do my business and I'm going to help the world. That's what I want to do, and I get to do that. So that's the best part.
That is fantastic. Love all of it.
Thank you, brother.
I'll give my 2 cents on this.
Yeah,
I will
please.
say
What's yours? What's yours?
there's not a lot of downsides. Mostly because, like you, I really like working and really, really enjoy almost everything about what I do. But I will
Hmm.
say that when I started the business, I was still a hardcore rider. I was
Okay.
still, I was still filming video parts and still committed to doing that. Because Breaking Free was like a BMX production company. I made
Oh, it's cool.
like 9 videos. I made 2 full-length DVDs. Like I did all the things, right?
Dope,
And
dope.
so it was a big transition, and it kind of sucked the life out of my particular action sport because I was just around the skate park nonstop all the time. And
Hmm.
because I no longer was riding with all the homies, all the,
Right.
after you start, you're still doing it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
actually, huh? I celebrate my own holiday every year. It's May 18th.
All
It was
right.
my first day off from the year I started my business. So I worked every day from August to May before I took a break. And so every year on that week, on that day, sit down, I'll have a beer, and I'll reflect on how absolutely insane it was, like you said, working
Uh,
18, 20 hours a day, nonstop, doing all of it, right? So
wow.
when you do all of that, for a year, you're not hitting up your homies to go ride street or
Oh
go
yeah.
do whatever, right? So after a year of not hitting up your homies, you're basically not part of the friends group anymore, right? So
Word.
after I started my business, I basically was isolated out from the core BMX scene that I was always a part of. And then
Hmm.
because I basically lived at the skate park, if I wasn't open and wasn't here working on something, I didn't want to just go to a different skate park. I wanted to get away from the skate park. So that's I
Hmm.
fell in love with mountain biking and other
Oh,
versions of cycling because I
sick.
could just be alone in the woods. And you might get this like few people would. When you're in a skate park, everything's very geometric, right? It's all
Hmm.
square, right? When
Hmm.
you're in the when
Yeah.
you're in the woods, everything is very
Uh,
organic,
oh, you hurt
and
my brain now.
it's the total opposite. So
Yeah.
it
Ah.
while owning the skate park kind of killed BMX a little bit for me,
Hmm.
it led me to a whole nother version, a whole nother passionate world of cycling I wasn't really aware of prior to that.
Oh wow, that's
But
dope.
now, 9 years later, I'm actually more into BMX now than I've been in years. But
Dope.
it is how things come and go.
How old are you? If you don't mind me asking.
Um, I am 38.
Shut up. Good for you, man. Good. You look that young. Good. Wow. Good
Thanks.
for you, man. I mean, so you got this park at 30? That's amazing, brother. Good work. Holy shit.
Thanks. But yeah, and the positives of it is it's unbelievable. It's just like I always do what I like. If I think, oh, I'd be sick if someone would do that, I just started saying, oh, F it, I'll do it. And I've been
Hmm.
doing that forever, from my years
Yeah.
down in Jersey, and like there's
Yeah. Yeah.
bike jams in Jersey that I started,
Yeah.
nearly 20 years ago that people are still doing now because I
So
started
cool.
it. So
Wow.
I d- it is exhausting, and I work nonstop, and I do all these events and stuff. But it's like I hope I'm just inspiring other people to do
Hmm.
what I'm doing. So maybe one day when I finally digress from this grind, there will
Mm.
be people, and it doesn't have to be one crazy person like me. Hopefully, there's like five or half a dozen people out there who are like, oh, I'll do that event, and I'll do this thing, and I'll do that thing, and then like the
Hmm.
scene can stay alive. But
Hmm.
no matter where you go, the scene is so dependent on like very few people who just keep it going, and we've all seen places where when the one dude who was the glue that held the scene together moved away or whatever, and it just like it dissolved. It's like a really good skate scene or bike scene. You don't realize it's just it's just sand in your fingers, and when the sand dries up, it just falls away, and there's nothing left.
Yep. I was in the nonprofit game for a while doing video content for a couple bigger nonprofits, and one of the nonprofits, the CEO left. As soon as the CEO left, everything crumbled around it, and it's not even the same thing as it used to be. And so I think what you're saying is if we can get, so when I had ideas of grandeur when I first got in, of course, running the business slowed them down. I got realistic, but I still want to help change the game in a way in which we have to set up that structure that can't happen. So but it's hard because you're doing it all. But you got to figure out a way how we can like have a board, a committee. Like in skating, they have ASA, NIS, all the tours. I'm talking about all the competitions. They have board members. They have people running them, and that needs to be that way. Like X Games is the only thing that's big X Games. Everyone knows X Games, but there's people out there that don't even do X Games that are ridiculously good. And how do we build that, foster that community? You know what I mean? And it's tough when people like yourself leave or transition to something else.
Yeah,
100%.
When the days come that I'm done with the skate park, or when the days come that there's a 25% increase in ridership, which gets me back to where I used to be.
Where
whenever I have more time on my plate, I plan on creating an organization, whether it be nonprofit or otherwise, that would be for the purpose of, nationally or internationally, probably nationally, consulting about skate park related stuff, whether it be outdoor parks or indoor parks, right? A lot of outdoor parks get built, and there's like these glaring oversights where, like, that park in Brick that's right behind the Wawa there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, there's virtually nowhere for anyone to stand in that park
that's
not in the riding area, right? And so to have a third party skate park consulting company that could just go in and be like, hey, you're working with, whatever, Evergreen or New Line or whatever. When you have your conceptual plans or when you have your designs, for a small fee, you send it to us, and we will give you this breakdown of like what we think could be safety issues, what we think could be usability issues. Maybe you didn't realize, this is way too advanced or this is way too tall. So doing that as well as consulting when people want to own indoor parks.
Yeah.
Hey, here's a framework. Here's some ways it's been done, right?
Yep.
And there really is nothing for indoor skate parks.
So that dude Brett from the Foundry in Philly, he does just that actually. He's starting it. I mean, again, it's really tough to build everything on your own like we're discussing, but I think he has like 5 or 6 skate park owners he talks to now, and he works with different some stuff is like you would definitely know, and you're like, okay, I got it. But he's trying to build that idea of like how can we get our community together to foster each other to he came in, we have the same back end, it's called wellness living. So what he does is he coincidentally had the same thing. He came all the way down from Philly, 2-hour drive or whatever, came down, showed me the back end, showed me how he set it up, showed me how he made mistakes and learned, and he actually fostered me on the back end, gave me a couple of tricks and tips for like camps, and he was showing me like the revenue streams of how camps work for him. And he, like I said, he does camps at other free parks. He has no overhead. He has his overhead, but I think that's donated to him. Might be wrong, but he goes with no overhead and goes to parks that are free. So now he's making like whatever amount of money with no overhead and no indoor type of facility, and he still has that in the wintertime. So I'll hook you up after this. He might be a really good conversation piece to kind of see what's going on.
He sounds like he'd be a great podcast.
Sure. Yeah, no, he's the man. He's been so helpful, and he's so caring when he comes out and does things. He came out twice for me and just showed me everything that was going on. I went out to him. We talked a bit, and it was a really great. Like exactly what you said, he's trying to foster that and build that up, so we could help him build that quicker, so we can help us quicker. So he's doing really good. So I'll definitely reach out to Brett and tell you about it. I'll send a little message.
Fantastic.
He's doing good. What other questions you got?
My last question.
Oh, I'm having fun. Okay.
Yeah. Well, given the technical difficulties,
we took an hour and a half setting up.
We'll get you on the real podcast again, and we'll make it happen.
That'd be amazing, brother. Thank you.
So. My last question in this stream, because we're coming up on 1 hour of this stream, believe it or not.
Oh, wow. Love it. Thank you, brother.
So the question is, why are you doing this?
Just quick on my brain to help others, man. Like without skating, I wouldn't be here today. Every day that I had a bad day, I went out and skated. So to help others There actually is, if you guys hunt enough. There's a video where I broke down. I was trying to go to Substance Skate Park, and it was raining like 3 days in a row, so I couldn't go here. I'm not traveling 3 hours in crap traffic to go to a pretty decent skate park. Um, I just couldn't do it. So I said, yeah, see in video, I said, we have to build a spot where everyone could come and you can't do this. And we have to help people. And that's what I try to do every day. And that's why I do what I do.
That is awesome.
Thank
That
you,
is,
brother.
you know, you should listen to my episode last week with Mike over there at Woods Room in Pittsburgh. I was
Okay.
like, this conversation we're having is phenomenal, and that conversation was phenomenal because those were two people, you and him, you both get it. Like a lot of people you talk to in the skate scene, they don't get it. They're still like holding on to a particular version of
Mm,
skateboarding or action
mm,
sports, or
mm.
just holding on to just BMX. They're not like looking at all of it, right? And
Right.
it seems like you totally get it, and Mike over there at Woods Room totally gets it. That it's about the community, it's about the kids, it's about the growth, and like yeah, it's convenient that those things are good for keeping your skate park open too. But like that's it's part of a good scene.
Yeah.
All these
That,
things are part of a good scene, right? Like I say this all the time, like a DIY, a private key holder, an outdoor park, an indoor park, a skate shop, uh, you know, every one of those things makes for a vibrant action sports community. And the more of them you have, the easier it is for the other ones to rise up. We need all of those things.
yeah. Amen, brother. I mean, and that's what it's all about. I mean, people have been there for me for certain things, and skating has always just been a thing. And like I said, the mentality we go with, we learn from it. It's just, I think that's the way to be because it's all inclusive. It's all inclusive, and it should be that way, and I've seen other scenes, specifically in like BMX, to be honest with you. There's amazing, caring, loving riders, and then there's people that are only out for themselves, don't give a crap, and they just do what they do, and they're rippers. You're like, good for you, bro. That was great. But like, it's about teaching that kid the first trick, the first drop in. It's about that mom that's scared about their kids and they don't want to open them up to the most beautiful world ever. It's about education, learn, pivot, move. That's how it goes.
I will say, it's my last one before we'll wrap
All
up
right, we're
here.
done. We're wrapping up. Yeah, shut me up. The phone's still excited.
The, the one thing that, after all these years of doing this, that still kind of chaps my ass and still gets me is that you get these people in the scene, right? And like people like you and I, Paul Rad over there in Pittsburgh, Mike down in, sorry, Paul's in Cleveland, Pittsburgh. There's these people all over the place that are they're
Yeah.
just doing it. They live it, right? And then you get these other people who they want that air of being that guy, right? They want to
Mm,
project that they're the guy that cares about the scene. And they're posting this stuff on social media. They're using the hashtags, right? But when you actually look at what they're doing, all they really want to do is like enforce one particular narrow vision of skateboarding that they want to be fostered,
right,
right?
right.
And that's fine. I think that like that's you could do that. But if you're not going to support your local indoor skate park, if you're going to claim allegiance to this skate shop and not that skate shop on the other side of
Oh,
town or two towns over, right? If you're gonna help the 5-year-old at the skate park on a skateboard, but slash at the 5-year-old kid on a scooter, not realizing that it's just a 5-year-old kid, right? Then you don't really get it, and you don't care about the whole scene and the whole community. You just care about your particular version of BMX or skateboarding or whatever. And those
mm-hmm.
people upset me, and it's not because I'm over here thinking I deserve credit. Like I let my actions speak for what I do. It's just like
Hmm.
it upsets me because a lot of people will. I hear people in my area speak highly of people that I see doing exactly what I just explained.
Mm,
And I'm like, yeah, and I just bite my tongue. Like, yeah, that's cool. Like he's doing his
mm,
thing is cool. I appreciate it. But
yeah.
man, we gotta support. You gotta support everyone.
Everyone, all the time. Everybody's included. And that's, I don't think, like you said, I don't think people get that. 100%.
You have to shout out to all the homies, not just your homies, right? And
100%. Well, if you don't foster this community now, we'll have nothing later. And being from the rollerblade community, that's something I realized is that there was people that were skating to skate, street skates, get it, but no one was fostered. There's only 5 or 6 people in the community still, they're still around for 25 years that are actually building community and building new opportunities for people in all aspects of action sports. If you don't build it now, you're dead tomorrow. And I think if people don't understand that, stay in the sport. It's better than doing nothing. But I'll tell you, and I know you agree with this, like I wouldn't have, if I knew how hard work it was to build a community and build a skate park and do it, if I knew how hard it was, if someone warned me, I might have been like, ooh, okay, maybe I don't want to do that. But I jumped into it. I had faith, kept going, learned pivot move, and now hopefully I could be like you one day and be there for 8 years and helping so many lives and changing people's lives every day. So thank you so much for everything, brother.
Dude, I appreciate that, and right back at you. So, you know, just plug your socials for everyone that makes it this far into this. I'm going to leave the live stream up
Yeah,
so people can watch it tomorrow, and I'll get
yeah,
it if I could download it to get it out to YouTube and whatnot. But yeah, plug
yeah,
all your socials and where people can find you, location
yeah.
and whatnot.
Yep, you can just check it out at levelupskatepark.com. That's always getting updated by every other week or so. Socials, you're going to want to go for the hot information, what's happening day to day and stuff like that. So that's level up underscore skate park on Instagram. And then you can find us everything else from there. And then just look up Level Up Skate Park on Facebook, and you'll find us on the Google if you put skate parks near me. So you can check us out there. But levelskatepark.com, and you can email me specifically on anything. If you need anything, just remember we're a nonprofit that helps people with mental health using action sports. So you can email us with anything. That's what our community does. Skate related, of course, but we got your back no matter what. So info at levelupskatepark.com, and level up team. Appreciate you. Love you.
And any message for the riders, the kids, the dads, the parents out there? Any final message? The one-liner? Hit them with it.
Never give up. Level up.
All right. Thank you,
And
everybody. Yeah?
support your local skate park. There you go.
All right. Support all your locals, the local skate
All of them.
shop, the local bike shop, everything. If there's any nonprofit in your area that's skate related, get out there and help them. If you want to build an outdoor park, get the ball rolling. Email me. I'll help you with all of it. We'll get the thing going. Again, this has been John from Level Up Skate Park down in Brick, New Jersey. This is our kind of impromptu live podcast here because YouTube didn't work out tonight for us. And if you got this far and you liked it, send us a message. Send me a message. Let me know if you like this format because I could do this too. So,
It was
John,
great.
thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you,
We'll
brother.
have you on again. Everyone else, you know the deal. Keep grinding.
Appreciate y'all.